AIDS, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, is a devastating disease caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. HIV is a retrovirus that targets the immune system, specifically the CD4 cells, also known as T helper cells. The virus attaches to these cells, fuses with them, and then integrates its genetic material into the host cell's DNA. Once inside, HIV uses the host cell's machinery to replicate itself, producing new viral particles that go on to infect other CD4 cells. This relentless replication process gradually depletes the body's CD4 cells, weakening the immune system. As the immune system deteriorates, the body becomes vulnerable to opportunistic infections and certain cancers that a healthy immune system would typically fend off. The insidious nature of HIV lies in its ability to remain undetected for years, silently chipping away at the immune system. During this latency period, individuals may be entirely unaware of their infection, potentially transmitting the virus to others unknowingly. This delayed onset of symptoms contributes to the complexity of controlling the spread of AIDS. The global community has made significant strides in understanding and combating this disease, yet challenges remain. In 2020, approximately 38 million people were living with HIV worldwide. This essay delves into the depths of AIDS, exploring its history, transmission, and devastating impact. We will examine the virus itself, its origins, and the science behind its relentless attack on the immune system. Most importantly, we will emphasize the importance of prevention, awareness, and unwavering support for those living with HIV/AIDS. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, is a type of virus known as a retrovirus. Unlike most viruses which contain DNA as their genetic material, retroviruses carry their genetic information in the form of RNA. This seemingly small difference has profound implications for how HIV infects cells and replicates within the body. Upon entering the bloodstream, HIV seeks out and attaches to specific immune cells called CD4+ T cells, also known as helper T cells. These cells play a crucial role in the immune system's ability to recognize and fight off infections. HIV's primary target, the CD4+ T cell, becomes its unwitting host. Using a unique enzyme called reverse transcriptase, HIV converts its RNA into DNA, effectively inserting its own genetic code into the host cell's DNA. This integration is a critical step as it allows the virus to hijack the cell's machinery and begin producing copies of itself. As HIV replicates, it progressively destroys CD4+ T cells, weakening the body's immune defenses. The decline in CD4+ T cell count is a hallmark of HIV infection and a key indicator of disease progression. As these vital immune cells dwindle, the body becomes increasingly vulnerable to a range of opportunistic infections and cancers. HIV is primarily transmitted through contact with infected bodily fluids, such as blood, semen, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. Common transmission methods include unprotected sexual contact, sharing needles, and from mother to child during childbirth or breastfeeding. Understanding these transmission methods is crucial for developing effective prevention strategies and reducing the spread of HIV. HIV's invisibility to the naked eye belies its complex molecular biology. The virus is composed of two single strands of RNA which carry its genetic information. HIV uses an enzyme called reverse transcriptase to convert its RNA into DNA once inside a host cell. This newly formed DNA is then integrated into the host's genome with the help of another enzyme, integrase. By integrating into the host's DNA, HIV can hijack the cell's machinery to produce new viral particles. One of the reasons HIV is so difficult to combat is its high mutation rate. The virus frequently changes its genetic makeup, allowing it to evade the immune system. These mutations can lead to drug resistance, making treatment more challenging. HIV also targets and destroys CD4+ T cells, which are crucial for the immune response. By depleting these cells, the virus weakens the immune system, leaving the body vulnerable to infections. Despite these challenges, advancements in antiretroviral therapy have significantly improved the management of HIV. Understanding the molecular biology of HIV is essential for developing new treatments and vaccines. Continued research and innovation are our best hope in the fight against this formidable virus. Education and awareness remain our most powerful tools in preventing the spread of this devastating disease. By understanding the science behind HIV, we can better protect ourselves and support those affected. The emergence of AIDS in the early 1980s was met with fear, confusion, and a profound lack of understanding. As scientists raced to identify the cause of this mysterious new illness, they discovered its origins lay not in human behavior, but in a zoonotic transmission, a jump from animals to humans. Genetic analysis pointed to chimpanzees in Central Africa as the likely source of the virus, with HIV believed to have originated from a simian immunodeficiency virus, SIV, found in these primates. The exact circumstances surrounding the species jump remain unclear, but the burgeoning bushmeat trade in Africa is thought to have played a role. Increased contact between humans and primates through hunting, butchering, and consumption of bushmeat likely provided opportunities for the virus to cross the species barrier. Once HIV made the leap to humans, it spread silently for decades before its devastating effects became apparent. The first documented case of HIV in a human dates back to 1959 in the Belgian Congo, long before the disease had a name. It wasn't until the early 1980s, when clusters of unusual infections and cancers began appearing in otherwise healthy young men, that the alarm bells truly sounded. The impact of AIDS has been profound and far-reaching. It's not just a medical issue, but a social and economic one as well. Epidemiologically, AIDS has affected millions worldwide, with infection rates varying across regions and demographics. Certain demographic groups, such as young adults, women, and marginalized communities, have been disproportionately impacted. Despite these challenges, there has been significant progress in treatment and awareness. It's crucial to continue supporting those affected and to work towards a future where AIDS is no longer a global threat. Sub-Saharan Africa remains the region most severely affected by AIDS. Biological factors such as high rates of other sexually transmitted infections and environmental factors including limited access to healthcare contribute to its spread. With over 2/3 of the global HIV-positive population residing here, the impact is profound. Efforts to combat the spread of HIV in this region continue to be a critical focus for global health organizations. The treatment and management of AIDS have evolved significantly over the past few decades. Antiretroviral therapy, or ART, is the cornerstone of HIV treatment. It works by inhibiting the virus's ability to replicate, thereby reducing the viral load in the body. Access to these life-saving medications has improved, but there are still barriers to overcome, especially in low-income countries. Comprehensive care, including regular medical checkups, mental health support, and lifestyle adjustments, plays a vital role in managing the disease. ART not only helps in maintaining a low viral load, but also prevents the progression to AIDS, allowing individuals to lead healthier lives. Recent research and advancements in AIDS treatment have been groundbreaking. Biomedical innovations are paving the way for new treatments, vaccines, and potential cures. Advances in gene therapy and immune system modulation are particularly promising. Clinical trials and ongoing studies are crucial, bringing us closer to innovative therapies and better outcomes for those living with AIDS. Global efforts to combat AIDS have been instrumental in making significant progress against the epidemic. International collaborations and funding initiatives have brought together governments, non-profits, and private sectors to tackle this global health crisis. Organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, and UNAIDS play a pivotal role in coordinating these efforts, providing strategic guidance and mobilizing resources. WHO and UNAIDS work tirelessly to implement comprehensive programs aimed at prevention, treatment, and care. Their initiatives include distributing antiretroviral therapy, advocating for policy changes, and promoting scientific research. International funding initiatives, such as the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria, have been crucial in supporting these efforts, enabling access to life-saving medications and healthcare services for millions of people worldwide. Through global solidarity and sustained efforts, the fight against AIDS continues to make strides, bringing hope and better quality of life to those affected by the disease. The collective action of the international community is a testament to the power of collaboration in overcoming one of the most significant health challenges of our time. International research collaborations have been pivotal in advancing our understanding of AIDS, leading to innovative treatments and public health initiatives that save lives. While significant progress has been made in the fight against AIDS, the social stigma associated with the disease remains a formidable barrier. This stigma affects individuals and communities, often leading to discrimination, isolation, and mental health challenges. Personal stories bring this issue into sharp focus. Take Sarah, for instance, who was diagnosed with HIV 5 years ago. She recalls the pain of losing friends and being ostracized by her community. "It was as if I had become invisible overnight," she said. "People were afraid to be around me and I felt completely alone." Another poignant story comes from James, a young man who contracted HIV through a blood transfusion. He speaks about the judgmental whispers and the shame he felt. "It wasn't my fault, but people treated me like I was to blame," he explains. "The stigma was worse than the disease itself." Communities also suffer when stigma persists. Misinformation and fear can prevent people from seeking testing and treatment, exacerbating the spread of the virus. In some regions, the stigma is so severe that individuals hide their status, leading to delayed care and poorer health outcomes. However, there are also stories of resilience and hope. Organizations and activists are working tirelessly to combat this stigma. Support groups and advocacy campaigns aim to educate the public, dispel myths, and foster a more inclusive society. "When we stand together and support one another, we can break the chains of stigma," says Maria, an HIV-positive activist. "By sharing our stories and raising awareness, we can create a world where no one has to suffer in silence." Addressing the social stigma of AIDS is crucial for improving the lives of those affected and for the overall success of global efforts to combat the disease. By fostering empathy, understanding, and acceptance, we can ensure that everyone receives the care and support they need. Through continued education and advocacy, we can change the narrative around AIDS, transforming it from one of fear and discrimination to one of hope and solidarity. As we continue to battle the social stigma and impact of AIDS, it's important to recognize the remarkable biomedical breakthroughs in AIDS research. Over the past few decades, scientists and researchers have made significant strides in understanding and treating this complex virus. One of the most promising developments in recent years is the advancement of antiretroviral therapy, or ART. This treatment has transformed HIV from a fatal diagnosis to a manageable chronic condition. With the right combination of medications, people living with HIV can lead long and healthy lives. Dr. Emily Carter, a leading researcher in the field, shares her insights. The progress we've made with art is nothing short of extraordinary. We've seen a dramatic reduction in AIDS-related deaths, and the quality of life for those living with HIV has vastly improved. Another exciting area of research is the development of potential vaccines. Scientists are working tirelessly to create a vaccine that could prevent HIV infection altogether. Dr. Michael Thompson, a prominent virologist, explains, "While we haven't yet found a fully effective vaccine, we're closer than ever. Several clinical trials are showing promising results, and there's real hope that we'll see a breakthrough in the near future." In addition to vaccines, researchers are exploring innovative treatments, such as gene editing and immunotherapy. These cutting-edge approaches aim to eradicate the virus from the body or bolster the immune system's ability to fight it. Dr. Sarah Lee, an immunologist, elaborates, "Gene editing technologies like CRISPR offer the potential to target and eliminate HIV at the genetic level. It's an exciting frontier that could revolutionize how we treat and ultimately cure HIV." The collaboration and dedication of the global scientific community are driving these advancements. By sharing knowledge and resources, researchers are accelerating the pace of discovery and bringing us closer to a world without AIDS. As we celebrate these breakthroughs, it's essential to continue supporting research and innovation. Every step forward brings us closer to ending the AIDS epidemic and ensuring a brighter future for millions around the world. Through continued investment in science and technology, we can turn the tide against AIDS and pave the way for a world free from this devastating disease. The economic impact of AIDS on affected countries, particularly in developing regions, is profound and far-reaching. The burden of the disease extends beyond the physical and emotional toll on individuals and communities, affecting economies at large. In many developing nations, healthcare systems are already under significant strain. The cost of HIV/AIDS treatment, including antiretroviral therapy, regular medical checkups, and the management of opportunistic infections, places an enormous financial burden on these systems. Dr. Rajesh Patel, an economist specializing in health economics, explains, "In countries with high HIV prevalence, a substantial portion of the healthcare budget is allocated to managing the disease. This often means less funding is available for other critical health services, leading to a cycle of healthcare challenges." The economic repercussions extend beyond healthcare costs. AIDS disproportionately affects the working-age population, leading to a loss of productivity and income. Families often face financial hardships as breadwinners become too ill to work or pass away. This can result in increased poverty and social instability. In regions heavily impacted by the epidemic, entire sectors of the economy can suffer. For example, the agricultural sector, which relies heavily on manual labor, has seen significant declines in productivity due to the loss of workers. This not only affects food security, but also the overall economic stability of these nations. The cost of treatment is another critical aspect to consider. While antiretroviral therapy has become more accessible, it remains expensive for many individuals and healthcare systems. International aid and funding play a crucial role in providing these life-saving medications, but the need often outstrips the available resources. Dr. Lisa Wong, a public health expert, emphasizes, "While we've made progress in reducing the cost of HIV treatment, the financial burden on low-income countries is still immense. Sustainable funding and support from the global community are essential to ensure that everyone who needs treatment can access it." Addressing the economic impact of AIDS requires a multifaceted approach. Investment in healthcare infrastructure, economic support for affected families, and international collaboration are all vital components in mitigating the financial strain caused by the epidemic. As we continue to combat AIDS, it's crucial to recognize and address the broader economic implications. By doing so, we can create more resilient communities and support sustainable economic growth in regions hardest hit by the epidemic. As we navigate the multifaceted impact of AIDS, it's imperative to recognize that each of us has a role to play in combating this epidemic. While scientific advancements and global efforts have made significant strides, the battle is far from over. You can make a difference. Supporting AIDS, research and awareness campaigns is a powerful way to contribute to the ongoing fight against this disease. Research funding is essential for developing new treatments, improving existing therapies, and ultimately finding a cure. Awareness campaigns help break down the social stigma associated with HIV/AIDS, fostering a more inclusive and supportive environment for those affected. There are numerous ways to get involved. Consider donating to reputable organizations dedicated to AIDS research and support. Volunteer your time to local awareness campaigns or support groups. Educate yourself and others about HIV prevention and the importance of regular testing. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger goal of eradicating AIDS. Together, we can create a world where AIDS is no longer a threat and those living with HIV can lead healthy, fulfilling lives. Join us in this crucial endeavor. Support AIDS research and awareness today and help pave the way to a brighter, healthier future for all. Educational institutions play a pivotal role in spreading awareness and fostering research. By supporting scientific communities and educational initiatives, we can accelerate progress in the fight against AIDS. Prevention, awareness, and support are key components in the fight against AIDS. Educational programs and awareness campaigns help reduce stigma and promote safer practices. Community outreach efforts, such as local health workshops and educational material distribution, along with preventive measures like pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, are crucial in reducing transmission rates. Support networks, including counseling and community groups, provide much-needed assistance to those living with HIV, helping them navigate the challenges of the disease.